The real gun's the competition, the show business, in that order.
How?
When you win everything there is to win in competition, where you go from there? Do it over and over and over again?
What's the story, people? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're checking out the story of Bob Munden. This is so interesting because the person that told me to check this out is an older gentleman that I know that lives around me. So I told him I'm going to the United States in a few weeks, and I was like, you need to go shooting while you're there. We just started China, and I was like, you have to check out this guy. Bob Munden is an insane shooter. Like, he's just meant to be one of the best. I'm like, okay, I have to check this out. So yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Let's go.
Bob Munden. You know him from his appearances on Shooting USA, doing what we call impossible shots. And what he comes up with always is impossible until he does it. Okay. But there's a lot I'm betting you don't know about Bob and Becky Munden, who have been entertaining with their guns for 40 years. Mike Irvine has the assignment to report the story of the fastest gun who ever lived, Bob Munden.
Welcome to Big Sky Country, where the mountaintops carve the land and the sky.
I was gonna say somewhere like Montana, South Dakota, Wyoming, somewhere like, I think somewhere around there. That's what it looks like. Let's see if I get it right.
With the Lady of Praise standing high above the small mining town below. This is Butte, Montana, and this rustic land.
I knew it. See, I'm starting to know my American now. Come on, Montana. I knew that was Montana. I told you guys that's one of my dream places to go to. I love how open it is. It's very similar to Scotland because I love exploring Scotland. Scotland is so amazing. I just love the landscape, the scenery. It's beautiful. So yeah, I would love to go to Montana sometime. So yeah, looks like I know where Montana is.
And isn't just home to the mining operation, it's also home to one of the great gunsmiths of our time. But you'll recognize him as the fastest gun who ever lived. Bob Munden is one of the great characters in all the shooting sports. If you don't believe us, just ask him.
I'm not perfect. Like I tell people all the time in jest, I'm not perfect. I'm just the closest thing you're going to get to it. And that's what I tell them, you know, and all in jest, of course, and I have fun with it.
Wow.
But all jokes aside, Bob is the most decorated fast draw competitor of all time, with nearly 20 world records to his credit. A feat that earned him the title, the fastest gun who ever lived.
The Guinness Book, Ripley's, and so on. And that title was given to me, it was because I have shot guns, drawn and fired guns from leather faster than anybody in history in competition through the World Fast Draw Association, the International Fast Gun League, and so on. And to this day, those records still hold.
For years, Bob dominated fast draw competitions. But after a while, winning wasn't enough. So he looked for another outlet to showcase his talents. So the Showman was born.
From cap guns to real guns, the competition, the show business, in that order.
How? He wasn't even, what did he do there? He wasn't even looking at his tag. What is he using to look at? How?
The real guns, the competition, the show business, in that order.
How?
When you win everything there is to win in competition, where you go from there? Do it over and over and over again? And I did that over and again for a lot of years, and then I decided, well, I'm going to go somewhere else with it.
So Bob went out on the road, performing in front of anyone who would watch. These old home movies show him performing at a cowboy action shooting event. And as you can see, Bob doesn't work as a solo act. Wherever he is, his wife is not far behind. You'll never find Bob without Becky.
My life has revolved around my wife Becky. I don't do anything without her. And I don't even want to do anything without her.
It's so crazy the way I see guns now. It's mad. I remember 10 years ago, guns used to be like this scary thing, like oh my god. Because whenever I see guns on TV, it's always when something, you know, maybe a shooter is gone loose and it's just, you know, shooting everyone. Then I realize, like, a gun is this, I don't want to say beautiful thing. It's this thing that, as a guy, that once you're old, I've never held one, I'm guessing once you're older and you shoot a target, when I say target, you know, an object, not a living object, it's just like, wow. Especially when you see someone that's able to shoot that quick. It just feels so cool. And I can't wait to when I go to Miami. I'm planning to go to a shooting range and just for the first time. I told you guys my favorite gun to look. Just when I look at is like the Glock. It just looks so cool, man. The Glock looks so cool. I've heard about I grew up, knowing about the the AK-47 and all that kind of. But I can't even. I'm guessing it's gonna be so heavy. Now I'm so intrigued about them. I just want to see them. I want to learn about them, the safety. Because most of the time when people think of guns, it's just like, oh, but you have to learn. There's so much safety that goes into it that before you can have a gun in the first place, I'm guessing you must have passed a lot of a few stuff before someone sells you a gun. They don't just sell any random person a gun. I hope. Maybe if I go to Walmart in America, should I try buying a gun? Nah, I'm not. No way. I'm not buying a gun. No way.
Since the beginning, Bob and Becky have remained at each other's side. Becky remembers the early days when they first started to tour with their show.
Started traveling, performing in 1969. Wow. So it's been quite a few years. And we started out in a station wagon. And we had our 2 daughters with us, 4 years old and 2 years old. And we put them in the back with their toys, and we had all of our equipment in the middle seat, and then we were in the front, and we did school assembly programs.
Becky is a shooter in her own right and plays a role in their shows. And if nothing else, she may be the only person who can keep Bob in check.
I guess that's why I'm around too. Humble him a little bit once in a while so he's, his hat doesn't get too tight.
Together, Bob and Becky have brought the shooting sports to an audience that might never have been exposed to guns without them. Using blanks in their 6 guns, the Mundens have performed in convention centers, malls, and car dealerships.
We've done shows at amusement parks in New Jersey and New York, and they had no idea that you could shoot a gun and not kill somebody. I mean, really, it's astounding, but they're out there. So we're able to talk to people and maybe soften the image of the handgun. We're proud that we can represent the shooting sports in our own way and maybe introduce them to people that don't even know they're out there. Because we do go to the public a lot. We do our stage show anyway.
I feel like it's one of them things that guns will never be banned in America. Never. I feel like there's just too many people that owns it. The main thing is teaching people that it's just an object. It's the way you deal with that object. If you wanna be a nuisance and start acting crazy, then something bad is gonna happen. But if you're just a normal law-abiding citizen that have it for your own protection and have it for just to maybe shoot objects, in the weekends you're there, shooting targets and that, then yeah, that's nice. But I don't see guns being banned. Nah, there's just too much of it. There's too much of it around America, and people love their guns, and you're not taking their guns away from them. Nope. I can picture myself if I grew up in America and I've always owned a gun, and then someone's coming to me saying, "No, I'm taking that away from you." Especially with is it Second or First Amendment? Is it First Amendment? Which one is free speech? I think free speech is First Amendment, and then gun rights is Second Amendment. And yeah, it's not gonna go away. It's about teaching the kids, letting them know from young, like, look, it's not a toy. It's not a toy. It's dangerous. It could be something that could be literally be harmless, or it could literally ruin lives. But it's about learning. So look at him. He's there showing people, and then most people don't even know that you can have guns, to show people how cool it is, how quick you can shoot and all that. Most people in some other places, they just use it to, to pew people. But yeah, this is very interesting. Bob Munden, legend.
Where we go to shopping malls and sports shows, and we're right there on stage talking to people. We're shooting our guns.
And Bob's reach goes even beyond their stage show. The fastest man who ever lived first became a TV celebrity in the 1970s. Here's a clip from the Mike Douglas Show.
The most feared man was the fella with the fastest draw. To show you what we mean, we have the fastest man with a gun who ever lived. Here from the Guinness Book of Records, and it was a real chore getting him out of there, is Bob Munden.
Nowadays, Bob and Becky spend less time on the road and more time in their Montana home. This open land is the perfect place for the Mundens to do what they do.
Well, first of all, we got the freedom to do what we do.
The open land also gives Bob a chance to practice. You'll find him under the blue sky shooting anything he can, constantly challenging himself to make the impossible possible.
That's why I do what I do. That's why I'm here on Shooting USA. That's why I do what is called impossible shots. That's the challenge. To do something that is theoretically impossible. Now, you could never do that. Well, I won't know that until I try it.
Whether it's trick shooting or fast draw, Bob learned early on he would need the right equipment to keep up with his talents. And in true Munden fashion, Bob was going to get better equipment by building it himself.
So through the process of trial and error, changing the gun around, the lock system and so on, then I learned how to build guns. For my own purpose first.
Build guns. Is that legal? I'm sure there's mobs. What's the? I was watching some reel on Instagram. What's it called again when people change? That there's a way they can amend the gun to like make it go quicker. What's it called? Is it charge? No charge. Switch. Is it switch? Yeah, I think that's what a lot of gangs use that they kind of like amend the gun to have a switch and then you can shoot like 10 rounds or 20 rounds. Like something like that. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I think someone please explain down below. But something like a switch or something like that. Well, obviously it's illegal.
And then other people started asking me to do their guns because my guns were so efficient.
Those other people included fellow shooters and worldwide known celebrities, including NBA Hall of Famer Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and country music singer Randy Travis.
Anytime you see Randy Travis's bus going down the highway and he stop, walk up there and say, hey, I hear Bob Munden builds you got any of those guns with you? And he'll show them to you, I'm sure, if he's got them with him.
For more than 40 years, Bob has made friends everywhere he's been. He's become a world champion, an entertainer, and will leave behind one of the greatest legacies in all the shooting sports, known by shooters and non-shooters alike as the fastest man who ever lived.
Thanks, Mike. And after that report, there is no question here, Bob is a showman. But he's also a master gunsmith whose work on single-action 6 guns is in big demand. Coming next, Bob shows us how he makes a sick Colt run smooth as glass.
Shooting USA is brought to you by Smith & Wesson.
Is Smith & Wesson, is that a gun company? I think that's a gun company.
Safety, security, protection, and sport. And by Crimson Trace Laser Grips, the world's only grip-integrated laser sights.
Okay.
Best outdoor program by the
Work 6-gun
Sports Foundation.
He calls his work 6-gun magic, and if you are lucky enough to get a Bob Munden action job, you will absolutely agree. But what are Bob's tricks to turn an ugly factory action into magic? Well, since you want to know, it's our job to find out. Nowadays, Bob spends most of his time in this shop behind his home, working his 6-gun magic on single actions.
I think that's the last person you want to go bug. Like, you don't want to go rob him. Please, if anyone is thinking of robbing anyone, do not rob this guy. Please. Because you're asking for it. You're begging for it. The best gunman to ever live. Do not rob him, please. He's a lovely gentleman just doing his stuff. Do not disturb him, please.
It started out as building up his own guns, became one of Bob's favorite hobbies, and a second career.
When I pick up a gun, I pick it up and I think, well, you've got some problems here. I kind of feel like a doctor, a surgeon. When I pick up a gun, I say, well, okay, baby, you got problems, but I'm going to fix you. I'm going to make you perfect. We want this baby right, it's going to be. So now I'm going to go thin this out a little bit here.
The guns Bob has received in his shop don't technically have a problem. They just haven't had a Munden action job yet.
But when they come out of the factory, remember the factories, their job is just to get them where they work safely and right out of the factory. But that doesn't mean they work right. It doesn't mean they're just guns that are that are production guns.
This time it's a Colt single action about to be worked on.
This gun right here is an absolute genuine Colt, 45 Colt single action. It's nickel plated, 4 3/4, and it's 45 caliber long Colt. And I'm gonna tear this gun to stock. Now, you know, this gun, I'm gonna tear this gun down and do an action trigger job on it.
Right now, this Colt has a 6-pound trigger and is dependent on the pressure from the mainspring to operate. When Bob's done, it will have a 2-pound trigger pull, a custom-fit bolt and trigger spring, and Bob will trim down the mainspring, lightening the pressure. The less pressure means there is no room for error in setting the timing and tolerances of the rest of the gun.
Well, when you do an action trigger job, when you slick one up where it should be, then the gun has to be perfect or it will not function because it doesn't have the high pressure springs in there pressing them.
As Bob starts stripping this 6-gun down, you'll notice one thing as he works. Everything is done freehand.
I do it by hand so I can feel everything because I go by feel and adjustment big time. You know, in other words, it takes touch to build one of these guns. You can't just throw them together.
The first step is filing down the cylinder stop. This small bolt controls the cylinder's timing, making it a key component to the gun.
This is the heart of the gun. This is a very, very important part of the gun.
A series of hand files and grinders are used until Bob has found the perfect fit for the cylinder stop. And that same technique is used for the hammer. Here it is right out of the gun. Rough sides, jagged edges, all of them need to be smoothed out. It's a trial and error process, taking off little by little until the hammer cocks smoothly. A Munden action job is, after all, about improving the gun parts, not replacing them.
That would be a cheap out just to use a new part every time on everything you have, but if I can make that part work efficiently, then I will use those parts, but I have to correct them and set them in place right. Now, those parts are ready to go in that gun. There might be some adjustments possible, but I've done so many of these, it may not be necessary, because I just know by looking at them how far to go and this and that.
With the
It looks like you can do this in his sleep. This is the guy for the job. This is the guy for the job. I'm really, it's so crazy that I find some stuff like this very, very interesting. I feel like it's just good to learn. You might not be, into guns. You might be against guns, but I feel like it's always good to open your mind and learn about it. It doesn't mean you have to be for it or be against it. Just knowing what's about and knowing why people that are interested in it, why they like it. I feel like most people just have this closed mindset of, I don't care, I don't want to know. Just see why they're into it. You might not, doesn't mean you should like it. Like, I've never held a gun. I've never shot nothing, but I'm just intrigued to learn about it. There's nothing bad about learning. So I'm really enjoying this.
trigger back in place, Bob moves to replace the bolt and trigger spring with a piece of piano wire. The wire has to be custom fit to each gun.
It looks like it might be right on the money.
Piece by piece, part by part, Bob files, grinds, and trims down nearly every piece of the Colt until he can dry fire the gun without any friction or flaws in the action.
Absolutely perfect.
Only then does Bob consider this pistol part of his 6-gun magic.
You know, I use the term 6-gun magic because it's almost like magic. You know, when I'm done with the guns, it's really a pleasure to have them and own them, and they last and last and last. And I'm very proud of them. And that's why I don't have anybody working in the shop with me. They work for the money. I work because I love to do it. And the money's an extra bonus, but I like doing it. I like making them right. I take pride in it.
And for those of you who have sent a gun to Bob, you're probably wondering if this Colt is yours. Well, Bob has the answer.
Belongs to Michael Netland, Netland. He lives in Duluth, Minnesota. He sent this gun for me to do for him, and here it is. Boy, you're gonna love this, but you're gonna kiss me right on the lips when you get this gun. You say no? Well, good,
Okay.
You passed the test.
Oh God! That was very, very interesting. The last line was something else. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. Let me know if there's any more interesting videos about this lovely man or anyone else just in general. It's good to learn about the culture. I feel like guns is a massive part of American culture, whether you like it or not. It's just good to learn about it rather than have this closed mindset. Just learn and see why people do love it. Because a lot of people love guns in America, a lot, whether you like it or not. But yeah, if you guys want to see more stuff like this, you know what to do. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys very soon. Please stay safe out there. Bye-bye.